Grand Rising. Good morning, Grand Rising. Happy Sunday. Happy New Day. I woke up this morning. Well, I actually go through this every morning, but I woke up this morning really humble and grateful for my health. Really, really grateful for my daughter's health. Even though we have issues with her blood and her pancreas, and it is hard. It is hard to deal with day in and out, but we do it, and we do it with such tenacity. I'm so proud of myself that I even have a mentality to at least try to keep things together and keep things running smoothly. I haven't done a podcast in a while. I think it's been about 2 months, maybe over 2 months. Simply because I've been dealing with a situation that has been really with me all my life. But I got a sense of closure. And when I say sense, I use that lightly. I got a sense of closure to my beginning story, the beginning of me. And I will say it was both sides of this coin is hard. The side where I didn't know who my mother and father was, why was I even born. That was hard. Now having the answers, having my truth, the reality, it didn't get any easier, but it is beautiful. Oddly, I can say that it is beautiful to know your whole testimony. It's amazing that I lived it out, but I just never knew who, what, when, where, and why. So now I'm in a process where it's really me versus my testimony. Excuse me, I'm battling back and forth and I don't even know how to, I guess, accept it and live positively every day through the good moods and the bad moods, which I think I technically do that regardless. I mean, what I found out 2 months ago, it was always a reality this whole time. But it did teach me awareness, just being more aware as a parent. Maybe I would feel differently had I learned this before I became a parent. But as a parent, which I didn't wake up like this after I had my daughter, it took some years for me to really understand my role in another human being's life. I wanted to know the truth so that I look at everything as a blueprint. I'm not gonna lie. Because everything is connected to me. No one has to share my views I definitely have my own pair of eyes. I have for 2 months been looking for. I guess I've been looking for a way to put my testimony anywhere but on my lap, on my plate. So yeah, it's been me versus my testimony for the past couple of months. I honestly don't want this testimony. I wish I could give it back, but then I wouldn't even wish this on anyone. So technically, yeah, it's me versus my testimony. For now, my hope is soon my testimony won't bother me as much. I won't even say bother me. Soon it won't make me so uncomfortable. I will be able to accept it comfortably. I don't even know if that's possible, but I do know that I'm a mother. I'm an active mother. I decided to homeschool this year, and hopefully, unless America has this big turnaround in society, she'll be homeschooled till she graduates. Drinking me some ginger and turmeric tea, not trying to catch any cold, flu, anything. Oh, and I'm really grateful that I have, for the past 2 years, I've been healthy. I haven't had any viruses, any serious medical issues. Neither has my daughter, and I think it's mainly because of the decisions that I have chose to make for my family. I want to go visit people. I want to go out of town. I've never been in one state this long without visiting. But I also know that I do not want any more stressors in here when it comes to health. My daughter just received an insulin pump, and I'm sure for some parents it's a like a gift. To me, it's like it just seems like something else to worry about. If it's not a cure, it's another treatment. How many treatments do you need? Do we really need? But it's here. The dollar value on it is $11,000. It's ridiculous how much it costs to live, like literally, for a child. Can't even earn an income that would afford this in this society, but that's a whole nother life. Again, I want to say grand rising to everybody. I have been, I really have not been doing podcasts simply because I've been studying. I have turned into a completely obsessed, positively obsessed being when it comes to just trying to figure out what is going on here. Why, like, who, what, when, where, and why about here? Like, being in narrative, I was given a scholarship to narrative Africanist studies, and it honestly has been a game changer for me. I'm a type of being who I love to understand the ins and outs of everything. And I'm really not a closed minded person. I've seen wickedness here. I've seen how wicked people, and I mean anybody, I've seen how wicked people can be. I could tell you 1,000 stories, but I won't do that. I'll put it in a book. This book, I don't know. I was just trying to write this book, and the end, like, I wanted to put this story on everybody else that got me here. And then in the end, I just be born and that the story's over. But talking to my niece, peace and love to you. When you hear this, I love you with all my heart. I love all of my families with all of my heart. Like this thing is so huge. It's like so many people involved. The key players are deceased, but I'm left here with these remnants, which actually the remnants make up my whole existence here. Now, normally in a normal family, you would look at your mom and dad and you would know their personalities and you would know their likes and their dislikes, and you would still be yourself, but you would have tendencies like your parents and you would embrace that. Like, say the farmer has a son, the son is growing up learning to be a farmer up under their parent. Me, on the other hand, it's me versus my testimony. It's just me. Then again, it's not just me, it's me and my daughter. And it's hard to even organize this testimony. The bottom line is there. The bottom line is I'm a survivor. I'm strong. I am going to face every obstacle with an attitude or not, but I'm going to face it and I'm going to get through it. I may talk shit the whole time, but I'm going to get through it. That's the me that I know. That's the me that I've always been. When I knew what I needed to know and when I did not. The only thing I have a hang up with is if I did not have to spend my whole life searching for what could have been told to me decades ago, what exactly did I miss out on? Me versus my testimony. But that is not the way you look at life. It's crazy. I always knew there was something I was supposed to know. I wish my mom that adopted me was alive because she would be like, wow, you were never acting out. You were reacting. It's just so amazing. This is why I take my time with my daughter to understand her feelings and her emotions, which I never got that opportunity to have a parent like that because my parent was raised in the South, and everyone knows the history of the South and my people. And she was older. She was born in 1914, so I was raised as she was. And I don't, in any means, even after my book, No One to Tell, I do not blame my mother, Catherine, for who the United States made her into. I do not blame her. I don't blame anyone considering they were all born here under duress as well. So I share the remnants of duress. It's amazing that I can sit here and articulate this with my mouth, and it actually describes me to the T. I used to wake up, I was 8 years old, I'll never forget it, Allen Street. I used to wake up, this is the first thing I would do. I come out my room, Uncle Willie would be in the sitting chair, my mom may be in her room or on the couch, and my eyebrows would be just wrinkled together because I'm just angry. And I remember clearly, like I can literally see my uncle looking at me laughing, like he's like, I've never seen a little girl, a child. You haven't even been here 10 years and you wake up angry every day. What is going on? I have his answer now. I have his answer now. I didn't know what I was feeling. I didn't understand what happened to me. I didn't understand why my mother was not able to be there for me. I didn't understand all of these pieces of this puzzle that is my testimony. And now that the pieces, most of them, have been found, don't get me wrong, I have a new type of peace. I sleep good every night now. I used to have nightmares years at a time. I've been having dreams of people talking to me, and I'm like, who are you guys? I don't even know who you are. I've had dreams like where they're talking to me. I'm like, everybody just shut up. I've had that dream at least 3 times, and I wake up laughing. Because they look at me, they all look at each other when I say that, and then they just laugh. I'm like, everybody just be quiet. One time I said, shut the F up. I did. And I woke myself up, and it made me laugh. Like, it's just, I just don't believe in coincidences anymore. I used to believe in chance, luck, coincidences, and all of these things. I think everything came from something. Every energy, every action. I found the pieces to my puzzle because I took action and I looked. I cared. I wanted to know. I asked questions. I searched. Because of the actions that I took, I found. Wasn't prepared, but I found it. So it has really been me versus my testimony for these past 2 months. Now I'm coming out of that phase. Now I'm getting to just me. And I really want to thank my niece for giving me the perspective that I needed, because I do self-sabotage. I have no clue where I get that from, but I do, especially when I'm emotionally attached to something as big as this. I was trying to explain away through historical. I've listened to so many lectures from my grandma's life in the 1800s to my dad's life in the 1900s to my other grandma's life in the 1940s to my birth mom's life in the 1960s. These were some tumultuous times here, and I think that was more for me. This is why the outline for my book, I kept slamming into walls, because I have to separate my healing from the actual process of the book. Because what I will do is give everybody historical excuses for what happened, and it's speculatory. And my niece pointed that out to me, and it just clicked right then what I was doing. was taking myself out of the equation when this is not about anyone else but me. Me and my testimony. She is amazing. She is amazing. She's an amazing person. And so am I. I walked through hell and I still have my skin and my complexion is not burnt. My skin is not, I don't have third degree burns. I have a few scratches. I have a few dents. Yes. My trust level is off the chain. It's broken from the train. Trusting anything is just not something that I automatically do. Not anymore. I used to. Once you learn where you're at, you stop being so naive. Sunday, January the 9th. It's the 9th already, 2022. Somebody's got a birthday coming up soon. Oh, shoot. I have zero plans. I don't plan on making any. What I really want to do is buckle down and get out of this phase of me versus my testimony. And I'm not going to say I want to, I am going to focus on this book from my testimony's point of view. And I want to run from that so bad. I want to run from that so bad. This reminds me of No One to Tell. I wrestled with that book for over 10 years. Yes, I did. And the moment it was completed, I was better. So I know the outcome. If I do this the right way, the outcome will be better than psychotherapy. I know that. I went through that with what happened to me when I was a child. So I know the end result will be amazing. Getting there is a process. So I just wanted to share that, and I really need to schedule Gina's school classes for this week. I missed the block. I missed my laptop. That's the real issue. I haven't been able to do my podcast like I like to do them, but that's another way of self-sabotaging. Not getting your way all the time does not excuse you from your assignment. So I made sure I got on here. I've actually got class at 10 o'clock. So I may cut this a little short. I really want to just send peace and love to everybody. Today, now, whenever you hear this live, on a replay, be safe, be smart, try to make the best decisions you can because it is really weird out here right now. I really, really worry about all the children going to school every day with all these disruptions. This year, if you're not homeschooling, you're going to be dealing with disruptions all year, which is not conducive to the development of our babies. I knew it was going to be like this. So I made a decision September, I think the 4th, 2021, that I was going to homeschool. And it was the best decision I've ever made. The level of anxiety that I deal with with just my daughter being type 1 around people who do not um, care enough to do what it takes to keep her there safely, there's no way I would trust the institution now. It's just impossible for me. I don't know. Like my situation is my situation. Everyone doesn't have a type 1 child. So, it's been really hard dealing with these institutions with my daughter's illness, mainly the school systems in 4 different states. I have war stories with this place, but I'm proud of myself that every battle I have been able to come out on top, and that is a blessing. That is a real blessing these days. I want to give everybody peace and light, peace and love. I hope everyone has a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. I have to get back on schedule. It has been me versus my testimony for the past 2 months. I am coming out of that, and boy, am I ready to shed that dead skin and turn a tragedy into an empire, something beautiful. Um, you don't get to pick your you don't get to pick your poison here. Every one of us is born attached to a story. Some of us have plain stories. Some of us have ID network stories. Okay. Some of us come from wealth. Some of us come from the struggle, the streets. But there is a beauty to knowing your truth, no matter what it is. There is a peace that you can live with when you don't have to wonder. And I'm experiencing that right now. And I want to thank my paternal family, those that have chosen to support me from my adopted family and from my maternal side. Everyone everybody is not like, oh, okay, great. Like I'm dealing with a lot of emotions from others as well, which I don't take it on, but I understand it. We're a family. Um, I just want to thank my close friends, all of the family members on all 3 trees that have decided to support me through this process. Me and my daughter both appreciate the prayers, the calls, the texts, the kind words, the support, the understanding. Some of you guys have listened to me cussing for hours at a time. I just want to thank you for just extending empathy. I'm not really used to that. I'm not really used to someone understanding. I'm not really used to someone having empathy because no one ever knew my truth. They just figured I just was acting out because I just was acting out, but that really wasn't the case. I wasn't a born demon or anything like that. I just was. I didn't know myself. I didn't know my truth. And I'm going to say that it was hidden from me because they were trying to protect me. I want to believe that, even though the outcome didn't turn out that way. I'll take that. Again, I want to thank you for tuning in. I hope something I said may have resonated with you. Me versus my testimony. I really sit and smile sometimes because I'm grateful for my strength. I'm grateful for the strength I have. It's out of this world. And it's also a gift to my daughter to show her how to stand tall no matter what. Always think for yourself. Always put yourself first. I'm I'm not saying don't be kind to others and don't look out for other people. That's not what we on. We on right now is self-care. I've been doing self-care now about 2 years, 3 years, maybe going on 4 now, and it has changed me. I never let myself exist. I was too busy just in the world, just going this way and that way, like a ping pong ball. I got off that table, that game table, and I said, it's time to pour into me now. Meditate, calm your spirit, put the alcohol down. Put the alcohol down, Michelle. There's no need to be numb anymore. Being numb never did any good anyway. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's one glass of wine o'clock. Okay. But going inside was the best thing that I ever did. Coming to New York and just shedding all the dead skin, stepping into who I was, who I've always been, and who I am. It's work. I'm willing to do the work. Me versus my testimony. One day, me and my testimony will walk hand in hand. I won't be ashamed of it. I won't be in fear of it. It will just be, and I will be okay. Sometimes I guess looking at everything as a gift is a gift. Just the little bit of chance that you had to say, you know what, this is just disastrous. But I'm going to turn this into a gift. I never had a sister before. I used to beg my adopted mama, can you go adopt a little girl? I want a sister. I had a brother, but we were separated. So, and I love you to my sister. I don't know if she listens to my podcast or not, or if she's been on my channel or not. I know my niece does. I love you guys. And I love the babies. And I just really hope that I can be a gift and not a burden. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. I never want to feel like I'm a burden ever again. I lived with that feeling. Especially with my mom being so old. I used to hear her say, I'm too old for this. I can't do that. I got arthritis. I used to be like, God, well, why am I here? Like on this earth. If you're too old to do everything it takes to make me a balanced kid, what am I doing here? That's the only thing that I still wrestle with. I don't want to be a burden, and this story is so heavy. This testimony is so heavy. So yeah, I'm still in the me versus my testimony phase. It's still fresh. And I'm insecure about this whole situation. I'm like, what if one day everybody wakes up and like, well, we don't want anything to do with her or that baby, And I only feel like that because people have done us like that. Family. I remember when my mom died at the funeral. I didn't even get to see her. They cremated her before I could even get to North Carolina. My brother did that, my adopted brother. One of her nephews, well, great nephews, he told me, he said, the people that adopted you are dead now. You're not even in this family no more. I never really let on how much that destroyed me. My daughter wasn't even walking, she was holding on to my leg. My mom died when my baby was a baby. And I have walked with that every day since my mom died. 16 years. I've walked with that statement. This is why I really thank my adopted family that still chooses to deal with me, because they don't really have to. Like, nobody has to care. So I really do thank, and I'm appreciative, and I'm humble to the fact that we do have family that love us. We do have friends that care. We do have complete strangers that will come inside of my matrix and make my world better, just so that they don't have, just so they know that we're not suffering. For another human being to care that much, it means a lot to me, because I've been on the other side of that coin. I never want to go back there. So my testimony really isn't sad. It's heavy. It isn't sad. It's heavy. That's all. Heavy is heavy, but heaviness gives you strength, muscle. One moment at a time, one emotion at a time, one day at a time. I'm just grateful for my health. Again, I'm sending peace and love to everybody. Thank you for sitting and listening to me. And I will check back in on the block again real soon. I love you.